Beautiful. Hello. I didn't see you there. Just kidding. I always did. Welcome to a special Legends of Logomancy stream. You'll notice that it is not Monday, but it is in fact Tuesday. That's because this stream is a holdover from the wonderful, wonderful Pride fundraiser that we were doing for the Trans Empowerment Project. So, for this stream, and I think a few more that are happening throughout the month, please do feel free, click on that link and go to our Tiltify to go donate to the Trans Empowerment Project. They are a phenomenal nonprofit in the States helping out those trans folks who need it most, especially in these most dangerous and dire times. So if you can, donate. If you can't, pass the link around to someone who can. There are a whole bunch of redeemable rewards, including putting yours truly through a moderate amount of spicy pain. But all that aside, tonight we have a very special game for you. A game that is I've been excited to run for a little bit here, just because it's going to be silly, goofy, and fun, and I hope that everything works out the way that we would all love it too. But that is enough talking from me. Tonight I am joined by some wonderful guests, some familiar faces that you've seen before, and some that are brand new. So let's start with Jellyfish. She's going to be playing Beacon tonight. Just say hi. Tell them the folks about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jellyfish Lines. My pronouns are he, him. I am about to become your either favorite or second favorite autistic person on this show. I am going to fight the GM for that spot.
I am actually not autistic. I have ADHD, but yeah. Our tech man James is in that camp. I am not.
Okay, then I am your now favorite autistic person that is viewable on this stream.
There you go. And then we have, oh, you got one more thing?
Hi, please donate to the charity because trans people need help. We are
Trans
mixed
people need
suffering.
help. Mixed suffering. Okay, and you've met them before, you've seen them before. It's GM O'Freven. It's okay. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. And last but not least, from Rolls Revamped, who has just recently hit that 50 subscriber threshold, it is Rem of the Realm.
Hello. Hi. I'm Rem. I use she, her pronouns. You can usually find me at Rem of the Realm on most social media. And I am here. We're here, we're queer, and we're going to persevere against the zombies.
Darn right. Now, before we dive into our post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland, our post-apocalyptic, not post-apocalyptic, although that is funny, and I will be using that going forward. Yeah, part 2 is post-apocalyptic. Post-apocalyptic is also how I look after my femme partner kisses me all over.
Yay!
Looking like one of those cartoon characters, all dazed and covered in lipstick marks. Okay, but before we dive into that, into a world of zombies and survival and queers just trying to make it by, I have something to read. I've started every single Thirsty Sword Lesbians game by reading a little piece of the book because it's something that is very important, very near to me, and something that should be said at every game table, no matter what system you're playing. And I think it's actually especially important right now in the times that we are in. And it reads, quote, "No fascists or bigots allowed. To play thirsty sword, lesbians, you must support racial liberation, intersectional feminism, and queer liberation. Respect transgender people, non-binary people, intersex people, and women. Respect racialized people. Respect Black, Indigenous, mixed race people, and other people of color. Respect sex workers. Respect disabled people. Respect immigrants. Respect lesbians and other people with queer sexualities. Respect people experiencing poverty or homelessness. Respect neurodivergent people, such as those on the autism spectrum. Respect fat people and people of all body types. And not demand that anyone educate you about their marginalizations. If you do not agree, fix your heart before sharing a table with other people. If you do agree, but you're struggling with self loathing or any aspect of your identity, that's understandable. We're taught to hate ourselves in so many ways. So come on in. Let's celebrate the existence and joy of people like us." Ooh, okay. I will.
We will not be
It's all good. Thank you.
silenced.
Yeah, thank you for sticking around through the tech issues. We're running a little bit behind today on the prep, so we should be all good to go from here. And with that being said, and all the housekeeping out of the way, let's dive right into it. Our scene opens on a close-up of one of those old televisions, the type that still had the tubes in them and would fuzz out in that black and gray. A color picture of a news station is open on it, and a female news reporter sits in her chair with a stack of papers in front of her. And she reads, "Now, official reports state that this new undead virus is not dangerous, that medical professionals and military personnel are keeping the virus under control. It's recommended, as per government policy, to quarantine yourselves and your families to remain safe during these times. And, oh, I'm sorry, what? Okay, this just in. Unfortunately, there's been an outbreak at the mall. If you are anywhere near the mall or the visiting carnival, please get out, get safe. Just, what do you mean? Yes?" And in the background, you can hear banging. It's being broadcast through the mic before you can hear the metal doors break off, shouting in the background of the studio. The broadcaster stands up in shock. No, it can't, not like, oh God, they're here in the studio. Viewers, live. If you are seeing this, please barricade your doors, block your windows, keep yourselves safe. And just as she starts to prep for her final statement, a zombie in a strongman outfit launches himself into the camera scene and tackles her behind the table. The TV goes to static as the camera falls. Our camera pans out from that TV frame. We notice that the TV is no longer this fresh, clean piece of technology that it was but a second ago. The screen has cracked. The dials on the side have aged. And the glass window that it was behind is completely shattered open. The streets are barren. They're clouded with dust and the age of unuse. It's been about 30 years since that broadcast. And as we take in our desolate, worn down surroundings, abandoned buildings, collapsed vehicles, occasional spots where perhaps militaries or looters had set off bombs to try and dissuade hordes of the undead from progressing down this street, have left craters in the paved earth. And we watch as one zombie, a simple man who would have maybe been in his early 20s to 30s shambles down the street in his torn and eroded shirt and his baggy, weathered sweatpants. In the background, we see the mall, a giant, gleaming pillar of capitalistic America, the center point of this community. Its main tower dwarfs the rest of the surroundings as it casts a dark shadow down behind it. The glass windows are shattered, and occasionally you can see what seems to be a zombie or something else fall out of a window down multiple stories and out of the sight line. And just as we start to become comfortable with this scene, we hear an engine revving and tires on the asphalt. Beacon, please
Yes.
drive yourself through this scene towards the mall.
I remember this place like the back of my hand. It's the city I grew up in.
Damn right.
I remember that broadcast when I was 12 years old, and I've lived the rest of my life trying to survive. There's a left down Main Street, a right off of that one, another left, goes straight for about half a mile. There's a sharp right, and then it's just home free. And that's how you get to that mall. My
Darn
sister
right.
was there that day.
Hell yeah. I gotta make a note.
Thank you.
Neon will remember this.
Yes. And
Give us a physical of Beacon as you drive in. Like, what does the motorcycle look like? What does Beacon look like?
Chariot, notably Flaming Chariot, has a horse's skull on the front of it. It is painted with whatever leftover natural dyes he could have found. And it's dyed almost this like beautiful, like brown and blue. And as it just pushes through the air that is between him and also the mall, you can see his eyes, an intense brown green just underneath his makeshift helmet. And you can see parts of his hair just below that plexiglass, leftover plexiglass, repurposed. It is this starting to gray blonde. He's old. He's seen so much that he should not have seen for so many years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the camera pans, kind of following the trail of the bike as you make that turn. And as you turn that corner, the camera starts to drift up into the sky, kind of focusing on that intersection, watching the little dust cloud of your motorcycle weave through the streets as you avoid closures and piled up cars and the occasional small horde of zombies, 5 to 10. Nothing that would be too dangerous for a person of your experience, but still kind of annoying, and you don't want to waste the resources to get there. On the other side of the town, Kita, you find yourself in a small encampment, prepping to leave as you are prepping to do a supply run for your camp. A few people that a few people that are familiar with you and kind of live in your encampment wave at you as you go. What does prepping to leave and heading out for that mall look like for you? Mhm.
And the kids, Joni and Benjamin. Kaida's been on her own for the past 10 years. So since she was like 10 as a kid, and kind of
Mhm.
was taken found up by Mac, and you can kind of see her kind of look at Mac, wipe her nose a little bit, and go, "I'll get you some first aid supplies. We'll have to figure out a way to make you a splint." That one's not going to
Yeah.
hold up.
Well, I mean, all we really had was the back end of a plunger, so fashioned it best we could.
Why
Makes
didn't
a
you
fun
tell me
little.
you were going? Why did you just have to go? Like, you could have just brought me. You know, I could. You know, I know the
I
note.
well, how was I supposed to know that that there was going to be it was supposed to be a quiet run?
Mac, you're over 55. You're almost 65.
Age is just a number, unless we're talking about how well my leg is healed.
You're going to be too tired and old and broken and Okay, well, so is there anything you want me to specifically look out for when I go to the mall? Because,
uh,
things are
I
going to
mean,
happen.
we could use a set of crutches until I got my knee back in place. And
Oh,
pain
okay.
meds never hurt.
Meds. The crutches might be hard because I'm not physically that strong. Looks over to John, looks over to Matt, shakes her head. Okay, I'll look for crutches or crutch like things. Was there anything
Appreciate that.
else?
No, I mean the standards: food, medicine. You know what to look for. We trust you.
You know, this is my first time going, right? Should I bring the bat?
You should bring the bat. Yes.
I shall bring the bat.
You should bring the
Oh,
bat.
wait,
I mean,
Jill
I think
looks
we also
over.
have like a spare lead pipe in the back too, from when we fixed that water leak
Hmm.
back in the. Oh gosh,
A while
John, how
ago.
long was that? It was about 40 years ago. Right, 40 years ago. Should still be good to knock some skulls in if you'd like.
I like the bat. I personally like the bat myself. Um, it's a lot easier for me to carry. Plus, I like the wires that we put into it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you,
I'm gonna go say hi, bye to Millie and Joni and Benjamin, and then I'll be off.
yeah, you take care of yourself and watch out for the clowns.
Her eyes go wide and big. Do they explode?
I mean, I hope not, but they're a little more uh, troublesome than the rest of them.
Clowns. Got it.
Clowns.
I
Yeah.
won't sleep on them. No sleeping
I don't
on
know
the
who decided
clowns.
to have a. I don't know who decided to have a circus during like the end times of the world and a plague of flesh-eating zombies, but it was not a good idea.
Maybe they wanted to have a good time. I'll have a good time bashing their heads in. Okay, let's do
All right.
this. Oh,
Take care of yourself.
I will. I'm gonna go say goodbye, and off we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mac and John will see this pretty much like a kid. She's probably between her late teens, early 20s, but she's got like that cherubic kind of looking face that looks like she's still, too young to understand better.
Mhm.
And but kind of also affected by the things that have happened since the apocalypse happened. She thinks this is just all normal. Like this is normal. This is every day. Kaida is a very small individual. They're kind of scrawny. They've got nothing up top. They got nothing on bottom. They're just tiny. They wear a worn sweater jacket, and um, they've got combat boots. They typically wear shorts, um, and they wear a pair of fingerless gloves and a utility belt that she probably filched off of Mac or John at some point.
Yeah,
And she
absolutely.
usually has like weird knives, some small tools like a wrench here and there. There's also a hammer, lock picks, and you can tell that she's the kind of person who's quick. Like they know what they're doing. They're quick. And she whistles a happy tune when she finds the bat, Betsy. Um, it's a bat that she then lovingly places into an old guitar case because it's also the kind of bat that hurts if you put it on, if you have it on wrong. She slings that over her shoulder before she makes her way to say goodbye to um, more people from the encampment. She also takes on a couple of potato sacks that she kind of stuffs into the utility belt at some point, and she finds herself like a rope, a hemp rope that was made
Absolutely.
from old potato sacks. And she's like, okay, I got the bungee cord, I got the rope, I got Betsy, I got this. I forgot the hand axe. Do you have the axe? Okay,
Yeah, we got it here.
thanks. She covers it. I'm prepped. Let's go. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Yeah, you come back safe.
The moment he says come back safe, the door is just
Yeah. And the camera pans out as you kind of head out past your encampment, and your travel method through the city. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you feel like the type of character who would climb up to the tops of buildings and jump between the dense um, urban area from rooftop to rooftop.
1000%. She is parkouring off the buildings.
Yeah.
She is well known for this. She scares
Yeah.
people with this tactic. She does it on
Absolutely.
purpose.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the camera pans out once again as you are running and jumping. We get a nice little like kind of montage of you traversing through the city as the camera moves one more time to there is the mall is much closer now towards the mall. And in the back alley, not but a street or two away, a unsuspecting zombie is just kind of standing there. He's wearing like a fine suit, like he was a business person, maybe a watch salesman, or one of the kind of higher up administrative people at the mall who would need to dress nicely. And he's now just kind of in this disheveled state. The buttons are like somehow not done up right, even though he would have done them up right before he died. So like, what's up with that? I don't know, man. Zombie, you ever notice that in zombie films? Sorry, I'm talking to you. You should know this too. You ever notice in zombie movies the shirts are buttoned wrong, even though they would have been alive and like buttoned the shirt properly before they died? Weird. But anyway, his suit is now dirty. There is an obvious like splatter of red across the right side of it where he was probably bitten. And he's kind of moaning and groaning and stumbling about, kind of staying in place in this back alley. And we hear just a few footsteps and then pause. And as the camera's kind of looking up into the background at this zombie and then up into the sky at the space in between these two buildings, we see a shadow appear over the edge and then right down, Goomba stomping this zombie. Ragna, please introduce yourself. Yeah. Oh, 100%. And this isn't D&D. And it's a thing that I set up, so I'm not going to make you roll for it. It just happens. This is your character intro Borderlands freeze frame moment, where we get Ragna and then I don't know, some quippy quote underneath about how cool you are. Totally cool, we promise. It's the tagline underneath. The cool one. Yeah, you have been kind of scoping out the outside of this mall for a little bit. It was going to be quieter for you to go ahead of Beacon, as the motorcycle is fairly loud, and even now you can kind of hear it in the distance, revving and moving its way through the city. And you have that moment of like, God damn it, we're gonna have to move like immediately when Beacon gets here. But like, okay, like sure, it's okay. And describe yourself. What are you doing right now as you're kind of waiting for your teammate to appear and you're watching the mall, kind of trying to scope out an entrance from this side? Oh, 100%. Yeah, he absolutely has. Um, it's a set of cufflinks, and they are gold. Um, and they are definitely like the hefty part of it that doesn't need to move is a stylized fish. 100%. Yeah. As you look around, how about we will do. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna look around, and as you're kind of watching, and you're like looking across this mall, like scanning up, there in the middle of the mall, there is this large, um, maybe 15 to 23-story building. It was the mall's office buildings as well as a broadcasting company. The news station used to be in this tower. Um, and as you're kind of looking it up and down, you're realizing from this distance, you couldn't tell from further away, but from here, as you're looking up and down, once you reach around floor 10, you notice there's like the whole floor 10, the windows are completely bashed out. And there seems to be a number of very ramshackled barricades that aren't up against the window, but are leaning out of them as to provide cover for somebody who is standing in the window from somebody who is down on the street. And you definitely see some movement up there, just because there's no such thing as perception in Thirsty Sword Lesbians. You see the things and get to decide what you want to do with them. You see, standing in one of the windows, there is kind of a gentleman seems to be standing there with a pair of binoculars. And even from here, you can tell that he is completely bald, and he has a curled mustache and is wearing a white kind of like t-shirt with suspenders over top. If you'd like, you can roll to figure a person out, just to get like a vibe check on this guy. Or you can also see that there is a group of zombies up ahead that will need to be cleared before you can actually make it into the entrance of the mall. And you can tell that there seems to be about 3 entrances from where you are. There is a downward into the parkades. There is a street level entrance that goes into like an attached movie theater. And then there is a further away street level entrance that goes into like a bookshop. Yes, absolutely. Figure out a person. You may roll plus wit. You have an 8. Okay, you get to ask 2 questions, but the person is going to get to ask 1 in return. Given your distance, this is going to be you can ask the questions from the list there, and I'll give you anything that you could possibly sense from this distance about who this person is. It'd be more of like a history type, figure out who that is, than an interact with them type. Who is that? It's okay. I'll You can ask, what are your feelings towards blank? What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I... Yeah. You're looking at him and he's watching. He's like scanning the horizon with binoculars. He's keeping an eye out on things. You're not quite sure if his intention is to be harmful, but you know that his intention is to notice, is to keep an eye out. Mm. Just based on what you know of him and his position, the best thing that you could think, he doesn't look to be making any direct aggressive moves towards the zombies. However, you're willing to bet that if you could get a horde of them to go in a certain direction, he would be looking at them and not at you and any allies who would be interested in entering the mall. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And just as you kind of make those deductions, behind you, you can hear the engine kind of coming to a low hum as Beacon does pull up in the very familiar motorcycle behind you.
I sure am. Nice. What's the closest entrance to the mall?
The closest to you would be the entrance to the underground parkade. Because kind of as it's laid out in front of you, there's the underground parkade, and then a little bit past that is the movie theater, and then a little bit past that is the bookstore. And there's entrances at all 3 of those spots.
I wonder if I can argue I would have a type of noisemaker.
Your bike is an excellent noisemaker.
Other than the bike.
Other than the bike, I would say, yeah, you've been a merchant in these parts for a while. You've been trading and selling goods and wares. I wouldn't be surprised if you have something that beeps or whirs or whizzes or rattles that you would have at your disposal.
I'm going to make an argument that I have an RC car with a little camera on it.
You know what? Sure. Yes. Absolutely.
It's absolutely shit. The batteries suck.
Yeah. 100%. I'm going to need you to... What is your goal with this RC car?
Try to chase the undead as far as we can get like them away from us in order to get like closer to the mall.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll a Defy Disaster. Just as this is... Defy Disaster is something when you push your limits to achieve something extraordinary that's not covered by another move, or to avert an imminent danger to yourself or someone else. Say what you're willing to sacrifice and pick your approach, whether that's daring, grace, heart, wit, or spirit. This is kind of my catch-all roll for anything possibly dangerous you want to do. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of it tonight.
I am willing to sacrifice that little RC car.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to use like my knowledge of like the layout of the bookstore to like get them in there as far as possible, and possibly like behind the counter where like I probably remember that there was like an auto lock on like the door at the counter.
You wouldn't
Maybe.
know. I would say maybe. I'd say the only people who really know that are the people who would be working at the bookstore, and I don't think you ever had the pleasure of working at that particular bookstore.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So roll your 2d6 plus, let's say, wit,
Yeah.
because you're using your knowledge of the bookstore to try and kind of lead these zombies
9.
away. 9. Okay, I will offer you a hard choice or success with a sacrifice. I will say you can either succeed and you will lose the RC car, or you won't quite get the car to where you want it to be, but it will draw the horde out into the open so that you can see them more, and it might just give your location away because it'll still be in eyesight.
I'm going to sacrifice that RC car.
Absolutely. So you sacrifice that RC car. It goes whizzing into that bookstore, and just as it makes it past kind of the busted down door that's there, you notice that there was already some zombies inside, and it's going to get kind of overwhelmed just past the entrance to the library, to the bookstore. So the zombies are there in that group. They are currently distracted by whatever this buzzing, whirring, wondrous thing is. And Ragna, as you're watching the guy in the tower, you can see that he kind of follows it too, and then is watching the horde. And you can see him, he pulls up a horn. It's a little silver bell connected to a little rubber pouch, and you can hear it echoing amongst the emptiness and the stillness, amongst the and the moaning of the horde. You can hear echoing from about 10 stories up. And then there's a response horn that comes from somewhere else as well. But the zombies are distracted, and it seems that your watchman is also distracted. On the other side of the mall,
Thank you.
excellent. And do the two of you move toward the underground parking?
I sure am.
Absolutely. Are you bringing the bike or are you leaving it here?
I'm going to leave the bike around the entrance to the underground parking.
Around the entrance. Okay. Absolutely. So you manage to make it in and you walk down to the underground parking. On the other side of the mall, Kita, your nimble feet crunch the gravel that is accumulated on the top of these buildings. You can see from your vantage point buildings in the background that have sustained either internal explosions or external shellings from military attempts to quell this virus. And from your side, you can see the mall is kind of this C shape with that tower in the middle of it. And you can see on the side closest to you, near the kind of end of that C shape and between the tower and that C shape, you can see this large red and white tent. It is grayed and dulled in this time, but it is a very large circus tent, and you can see a number of booths and carnival rides and such set up on this side of the mall. For a moment, you go, oh God, what's this? And then you realize, wait a minute. If I plan my route right, I can get into the mall from the roof entrance by hopefully jumping and maneuvering over top of these temporary stands and tents and hoping that the tension keeps you aloft. However, amidst the broken down carnival games, there is a large horde of what used to be carnival goers, now turned undead immortal carnival goers. You see pairs of zombies standing next to each other, one holding a plush teddy bear that is long rotted, the other one in a Hawaiian shirt and khaki pants. You know, you see zombie carnival workers still manning their stages, even though it has been long time since anyone has stacked up those milk bottles for anyone to throw a baseball at. If it weren't so still and dead, this would be the liveliest place in the entire city.
Kita was until this point um, making sure that she wasn't making any sound, and basically Spider-Man style, sitting glancing at these set of tents, has gone, do I risk it for the biscuit? It would be faster, but then I would have a big, huge horde of undead chasing me. Maybe I need pawns. Yes. And she's going to actually try to find another workaround, if possible, to see if she can just angle herself to look to see if there's other groups of people in the same vicinity as her, and see if she can get that horde to go after them.
Yeah, 100%. Given the vastness of this carnival and the amount of zombies that are there, this was a densely packed area on breakout day. And so the horde is big. It's why people don't come to the mall, is just the sheer density of population that is here. And looking around, you notice that, okay, I might not have to go over. There is a safer route around the back of the mall, but I will have to get off the rooftops and I'll lose any height advantage that I have. But also looking around, you notice in the midst of the carnival goers, where there is aimless shuffling of zombies and the back and forth and following noises here and there, that group of 3 zombies there, they aren't moving like normal. They have purpose. Wait a minute. Those aren't carnival goers. Those are survivors who have drenched themselves in zombie to try and sneak through them. If you could tip off the zombies that those guys aren't like them, they'd be distracted enough for you to get by.
Is there a role I could make? Because I'm undecided as a player, and I'm trying to figure this character out. Because she's a chaos gremlin, but she's smart about it. Which is there a role I can roll for chaos?
I can say roll a d6, and on evens it's non-chaos, and on odds it's full chaos.
Okay, we are on an odd.
We are on an odd.
Full chaos it is. Cool. So from where she is, how far away is she right now, like height-wise?
Height-wise, you're probably standing on maybe a 2-story building. Putting you maybe half a block diagonally above where these survivors are. Actually, no, about a city block diagonally from where these survivors are. You also notice just now that they are passing an old-timey dunk tank, and there is a zombie carnival worker in his unitard still sitting on the little stool, just moaning and like.
Kata is like, well, I can help them and myself. She is going to grab. She has found like those old like alarms like for when you have a car alarm.
Yeah.
She has found an old like car alarm thing that she can detonate. That,
Sure.
like through her random rummaging. Now it's not very loud because it's not attached to a speaker of any sort.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's going to do is she's going to fashion it near the rooftop that she's on.
Mm-hmm.
And then she is going to very quickly, set it off and fling it down the street.
Towards the other survivor group or away from them?
Away from
Away
her
from
and
them.
the building.
Yeah.
Because she's going to help her and the survivor.
And them. For sure.
Just
Absolutely.
And she is flinging it straight on the other side of the street. And it hasn't gone off yet because she has to click on the button.
Mhm.
She's timed it, so it's like it's a noise detonator.
Okay.
And then as soon as she flings it, and the zombies would hear the as it
Yeah.
lands, which would already,
Yeah.
perk up some of them. She will detonate the noise, so wherever it's detonating, it is freaking loud.
Yeah, the blaring car alarm noise. For
Mhm.
sure. This is an excellent plan. We're going to toss it to a high disaster using your daring, because you are
Ooh.
using your physical might to
Okay.
toss this thing away from you.
Okay. So I roll a d6.
Yeah, 2d6.
2d6. Okay. And do I add them together or? I
Yes,
haven't-
add them together and then add your daring.
I mean, she's smart, but she's not that great. I rolled a 7.
You rolled
No,
a
sorry,
7.
6. I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. Okay. So you are prepping. Oh, everyone hydrate.
Thank you for the
Thank
hydration.
you, Dracula.
Mm. Mm.
So you rolled a 6. A 6 means that you don't make it. You have failed this task. And I'm gonna say that you are kind of rigging this up together to get ready to throw it. And as you do, you're kind of holding too many things in your hands, in your small hands, and you end up hitting the alarm button while it's still right here in your hands. And so out of the silence, you just hear the like, wham, 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 like right in front of you. And you have
She
that
tosses
moment of
it
like,
over.
oh shit.
She
Yeah, and you
tosses it
kind of
over.
drop it
Yeah.
and you stumble and it doesn't quite make it over the building ledge. And it's just like sitting at your feet and you have that like, oh no, as the horde starts to like look and turn. And it starts as like a shamble. But it slowly starts to pick up pace until they are full sprinting toward the building.
Okay.
The first wave hits the glass.
Oof.
Some of them make it into the building and are like making it through the inside. The rest of them pile up and are starting to use each other's bodies to like scale up this building just by piling sheer mass.
Okay.
You notice the other survivor group sees the noise goes off, sees the horde go, and just kind of looks over, looks back, looks at each other, and then just books it towards the mall. They are going to be somewhere ahead of you, and you are in danger. So please, at this point, what are you doing?
Kita is going to very much the fuck. And she grabs the blaring noise alarm and shoves it away from her, and then she's going to find the quickest route out of here, opposite of where they're piling off of,
Mhm.
using the noise from the alarm to kind
Yeah.
of like sprint her way from where she is and catapult her way to the nearest tent.
Okay. Yeah, we
Gosh.
are going to. You're gonna have to roll another defy disaster. This time, probably with grace
With grace.
for
Okay.
swiftness and elegance.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No!
High tension, high tension. I will say, as we are resolving that roll, Kita, Ragna and Beacon, as you're kind of getting into this underground part of the parkade, you can hear in the distance the car alarm go off from the other side of the mall. It's in the distance, it's not right next to you. And you have a moment of like, okay, that's happening. That's not great. We should probably be quick, but it's also not right next to us. So we might have a little bit of time right now.
Mhm.
11.
11. Okay,
Oh.
that is a full success. You do it with style. So you do it wonderfully. So you jump from tent to tent. And how does that look as you kind of make your way to the rooftop of this mall via circus tent parkour?
She's running for her life, and she's basically going bouncy, 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 wah, bouncy, 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 wah. And then the moment she gets close enough to the mall entrance, she's just swinging. It's like home base. She's just booking it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll say you kind of hit that big top roof. It's the closest one in elevation to the highest level of the mall. This mall is probably about 2 to 3 stories. And you bounce off and you just brace and you go through that top window and slide your way into kind of the food court area that is on this. Actually, no, this would be one side of the mall. This would be, let's say, a tech store that you have slid your way into. There's like a Best Buy or like a Source Video store.
Okay. So out of curiosity, does she notice anything at the moment? She's like stops and she looks around. Is like, how bad is it?
The shelves are fairly stripped of anything that would be useful in this situation. You notice like all the batteries are gone. A lot of the like camera and security systems are gone. A lot of like the drones and the RC cars and such are missing. You see that like blue color scheme with like the big yellow signs. It says worst purchase in the big sign. And it seems fairly quiet in here. It looks like people either have raided this area fairly well and have no interest in really being here, or whatever alarm that you sounded that triggered the zombies kind of drew them from this part of the store to move around to try and get to where the car alarm is.
Okay. She knows that there's not much time before the alarm pauses. And so
Mhm.
she knows for right now she's as safe as she possibly can be. And so she's going to like dust up. Probably has a few bruises on her person. She's kind of like, this wasn't the greatest idea, but okay. Could have been worse. And she's going to look around actually for other noisemakers
Yeah,
that she can find within this store, because noisemakers are a great distraction against the undead, and she knows
absolutely.
this.
Roll
Absolutely
me
knows this.
just a 2d6, just a straight 2d6 to see what you find.
I got that's a 3-3. Like I rolled 3-3.
2 3s.
Yeah.
So for a
6.
total of 6.
Yeah.
Cool. As you're looking around for distraction items,
Mhm.
you find not much. It looks like there's like a lot of speakers and such, but as you kind of look at them and test them out, no power. Um, anything that's battery charged, there's no batteries here for you to plug into. Anything that would have been plugged in already, the power grid died a while ago. So there's no power flowing to them.
She's gonna take, like, if they're like the little hand speakers that you use for like the computer, she's gonna take those, and she's like,
Yep.
weapons.
Yeah, for sure.
Beacon is like, oh god, this character.
Back on the other side of the mall, as you move through the underground parkade into the mall itself, you enter into the first floor. This parkade, it's fairly empty at the moment. There are abandoned cars, some of which are, dented, some of the windows shattered, some of them are left open. It seems like, this was an area of struggle back during infection, the worst of the infection days. But it seems quiet down here. You move towards the mall entrance proper, and stepping inside, you are in a hallway. To the right of you is the movie theater you saw outside. To the left, there is kind of a access to elevators to go to ground level, things like that. But the door for the elevator is like busted open, and you can see that the elevator has kind of fallen to its basement floor and has kind of tin canned itself in there and is smushed and not in use. However, beside it, there is a fire escape that might be usable. And then the hallway continues down into kind of this first floor of the mall.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
We need to find the craft store. We need to find yarn. Socks, so we don't freeze. I found you socklet. Sock.
Yeah, you would know that just past the middle point of the mall, just past the food court on the second level, there is a I'm trying to think of like a good craft store name that would sell yarn. It's called Naughty Purchases, but it's spelt like not like a rope knot. And it is this town's like craft surplus store, like textile store.
Okay. Head upstairs, past food court. I have like my sword on my back, which is not even a sword. It's literally just fashioned together like railroad spike, metal pipe that's been like flattened on part of the end, extending the railroad spike. And then there's like a golf club head at the other end of it. It's like slightly taller than Beacon. And they're just like, okay. Fire escape. Quiet as possible. We close that door quietly. Thank you. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
You guys are moving through the mall, up the fire escape. It looks like you're in luck because it goes up to the second floor, but the third floor has been barricaded off by a collection of like desks or tables. And you make your way up to the second floor. As you do, out of a sports store to your right on kind of the opposite side of the hallway from you, there's a single person walking out, and they are wearing like beige riding pants with tall leather boots, and they have a top hat and a red twin-tailed coat. And she steps out. This is a woman. Steps out, And on her face, even though she is very feminine in her presentation, she does have a drawn on pencil mustache. And she goes, "Well, well, it looks like we have some new guests. If you're looking for supplies, well, unfortunately, the Wandering Circus owns this area, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave, lest you face the wrath of the lion tamer." And she cracks her whip out. And she kind of kicks up this wooden stool that you didn't even like realize was there until she's like holding it in front of her like a shield. And she goes, "Now, Mittens, come on out and play." And from behind the sports store, you hear the growling and pounding of a large lion that has somehow survived this long. And between you and moving forward, there is the lion tamer.
How tattered is her coat?
It is honestly fairly good. You can see that there are definitely spots where it has been like stitched together and patched in places, but she seems put together. If anything, she seems a little insane, keeping a lion in a zombie apocalypse and actively shouting inside of a mall in the most densely populated, like zombie populated area of the city. But she's doing well physically.
All right. Ragna? You know how long we've been, friends, right? Let's do what we always do. I sure do. Thank you.
Oh yeah. What are we doing, Ragna? Yes, she has a whip. Yes, absolutely. Let's roll a fight. It's a
Dan,
6 total. Okay. Do you? It would be plus daring.
cool.
Aha! That means you choose 2, and the opponent is going to choose 1. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What condition would you like to inflict? The conditions are, hold on. The conditions are going to be angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, or insecure. Frightened sounds good. Okay. She will be frightened. Absolutely. Um, so you kind of take some moves and you throw her off kilter, and she has a moment like, oh gosh, oh. And Beacon, you notice that there is absolutely opportunity for you to move forward past the lion tamer if you so choose. She has been actively distracted.
How distracted?
Distracted enough that she is not paying attention to you.
So fun fact about that golf club head at the end of my basically my quarter stick that I'm going to like lift up and just try to bonk her on the back of the head as hard as I can to knock her out.
We will get to that in a second. In return, she gets to inflict a condition upon you as well, Ragna. And she is going to she'll go, oh gosh. You certainly are a beast, and I promise I've tamed much worse. Crack! And she cracks the whip, and she is going to flirt with or provoke your opponent to get a string on them. Now, down, kitten. The only beasts that can't be tamed are the ones who haven't met me yet. And that is what she will do. She'll gain a condition on you. Beacon. We will say, so you're going to get a +1 forward to your fight roll. What this means is that you're gonna roll your 2d6, add your daring or grace, and then add an extra +1 from the opportunity that Ragna has opened up for you.
Awesome. I have +1 in both daring and grace, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
8.
8. Okay. You get
that's
to choose
with the +2.
That's with the +2. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So you get to choose 2, and she will choose 1 in return.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to take an object from your opponent or seize a superior position.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to like just grab her hand after like trying to clunk her on the back of the head.
Yeah.
Or probably before that. Grab her whip. Say, are you looking for a third, by the way? And clunk her.
Okay. So you want to grab the whip and then inflict a condition via physical altercation?
Yeah.
Okay. That is what you do. You will grab the whip, and she will likewise go, oh, well, Mittens does need a caretaker. And she'll snap her fingers, and the lion that is next to her will bear down upon you and inflict a condition.
Okay.
And this will stagger you. So stagger is a reactive move. When you suffer a staggering physical or emotional blow, choose an option from the following based on the number of conditions you have marked. You have 0 to 3 conditions marked right now. Mm-hmm. So you get to choose one of the 3 options that are listed below. You lash out at someone whose regard matters to you, provoking them to do something foolish or harmful, and take advantage of a string on them if you have one. You hesitate or stumble, and the opposition gains an opportunity, or you grin and bear the blow and mark 2 conditions.
I'm going to... Now, what would be a very, very devoted thing to do? Ooh, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to I'm going to grit it and like just bear with it.
Okay. So mark 2 conditions down.
All right.
Keep in mind your conditions are angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, and insecure.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. And we are going to cut as this fight is happening back to Kaida. You are walking out of this electronics store, and the way the mall is set up is there's kind of like the upper hallway that you're on, and then an opening in the center that looks down to the like floors below. And you can see down at the bottom floor those 3 survivors that were in that carnival horde with you are they're kind of getting out of these like gore suits that they're wearing that look a little bit ridiculous. Um and one of them kind of looks up and like waves at you. And kind of like points at you and goes, "Did you do the sound thing?" Kind of like signaling to you with their hands.
She's first of all, she's adorable, and so she looks down the moment they wave. She does the
Yeah,
and she winks,
absolutely.
and then
Aw.
she's gonna move away. She doesn't really care for them anymore. She just waves and winks, and she's just like
Okay.
flirting
I
with them
will
a little
say,
bit.
yeah, absolutely. They're an odd trio. There seems to be a man in kind of like a full tan outfit, with like a cowboy hat. There is the other man next to him is wearing like a blue button-up shirt and has 2 chainsaws for hands instead of actual hands. Um, I love and hate this so much. And the third one is actually just a dog that was standing on 2 feet. Seems to be a Great Dane of some sort, with a bluish collar. But it was standing on both legs and walking around like the both of them for a while, and is now back down on all 4s and shaking it out.
She's seen a lot of weird people, and so she's gonna shake that off, and she's gonna move on. She helped them. Hopefully, they'll help her in the future, but she doesn't care
Yeah.
really. She's got other things in mind. She's really close from the tech store. She kind of knows enough of the layout. She's been here with Jack, and she's been here
Hmm.
with them enough that she knows which stores have been raided to some degree.
Yeah.
Although she hasn't been particularly familiar with this side of the mall. However,
Hmm.
she probably, and along with those 3, has heard the sounds of a lion
Right.
somewhere further down, and she's going to investigate that noise.
Absolutely. You start making your way across the top floor here. I need you to roll a defy disaster to kind of sneak your way through this top floor here. All the while, you can tell the other group down below you because you can see them a little bit more easily. They're prepping and starting to go about gathering supplies for their own. You notice they jump into uh, like a um, like a grocery store, probably looking for cans and goods that are still edible. Um, and sneak your way through. What do we roll on that defy disaster?
I rolled a 6 plus a 2.
Okay, 8.
And
So,
then do I add any stat to that, or
um, what did you plus 2 from?
I just rolled a 6 and a 2.
Oh, you rolled a 6 and a 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So you rolled 8, and then we'll
Mhm.
say you add your grace because you're sneaking.
Oh, so then I'll make it a 10.
Okay. Then you do so with style. You manage to sneak your way through that top floor. You can tell when like where the horde is, where it's sitting, where zombies are sitting, and you happen to be keen and dexterous enough to know when to tuck into a store or go through like a open ventilation shaft or through a back end of the mall. Sounds good. And you're making it through. And as you're making it through, you can see that there is a group of undead that are kind of hanging out in the middle of as you kind of approach the food court where the pharmacy, this craft store, as well as some other very like important valuable shops are, and you know that that's where the most of the zombie horde is going to be because the food court is always the busiest. You notice as you're sneaking around, there is a group of zombies that are standing kind of on these thin beams that are support beams for these upper halls, and they are where you've seen other zombies kind of moan and shuffle and not really act quickly or dexterously without motivation to do so, i.e. noise and promise of food. These decaying bodies are wearing skin-tight leotards that have birds emblazoned on the chest. And in the rafters of this part of the mall, they are swinging and launching themselves and catching themselves on these rafters in the mall. And they're moaning, but they're catching themselves and tossing themselves. And you watch as one of them like gets tossed to another one that's hanging off one of these pillars, and they go to grab, and the hands connect, but then the elbows slip out of socket, and that zombie just goes 3 floors and like sideways. And there's a moment of like, and then you hear in the distance like, as the zombies probably hit the ground, but is signaling that it's okay. And these are, I mean, you were born after the outbreak. You're younger. You don't really have a semblance for the old world and its entertainment things. But anyone who did would know that these are the fabulous flying 5 of the Wandering Circus, now zombified and still performing their old routines out of habit. And you have successfully snuck your way past them. Okay.
Kaida is
And
going
we
to
will-
clock that
Yeah.
as you go through.
And just now, like you have kind of heard of the circus, like Max and other people who are older and have talked about the before days have talked about the circus, and it starts to connect to you that the clowns is probably a zombie thing that was part of this circus at some point. Excellent. Excellent. We should jump to break here because this is a good pausing point. So we are going to take a little 10-minute break. 5, 10, 5, 10, 7, 7. We're going to take a 7-minute break, and we'll see you afterwards. We're choosing 7 because 3 for the rings of the circus, and the other ones are there too, I guess. See you in a bit. Welcome back to part 2, continuation of our wonderful post-apocalyptic adventure. Uh, last time we left off, the lovely Kita, Akira, had just snuck past the Flying Five, undead in their wonderful acrobatic marvel. We now rejoin as Beacon and Ragna are locked in combat with the Lion Tamer and Mittens. And she will kind of push the Lion Tamer and Mittens kind of push you both back and reinitiate a more balanced ground. And she'll go, "Why are you even here? It's the most dangerous part of town, and I mean, it belongs to the clowns." I'm not the one that makes those decisions. Yeah. I'm not the one that makes those decisions, darling. You'll have to talk to the ringmaster. And oh no, I just tame the beasts.
May I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
How do you know how to sew or crochet or knit?
I mean, yes. Working with a circus, you have to pick up a number of small tasks and skills, such as mending your clothes and manning the rides and setting up tents.
What if you could make your own clothes from scratch?
I mean, I have never had need to.
And also, what if you could be ringmaster? Don't you want to wear his coat?
I would like you to roll an entice.
Okay.
So roll
Okay.
2d6 plus heart.
Okay. Okay, baby. Okay, that was an 11 minus 1 is 10.
10. Yeah. So you gain a string on them, and they will choose one. They will get flustered and awkward, promise something you think they want, or give in to desire. Ooh. You're right. I do deserve to be ringmaster. I mean, that fool up at the top doesn't know tops from toes. I was going to say a different word, but then I remembered we're on Twitch. And after all, I'm the one who's keeping everything together. Mittens and I here, well, we've been practically running this show while he sits up in that tower of his. Maybe we do have a shot at the top. And maybe you'll help me.
You do need a fine coat for it.
Ooh, I can imagine it now. The double-breasted. My coat is just a single breast. The ringmaster's is double. That's double the amount of breast per coat. Well, sign me up.
Would you be kind enough to call off Mittens?
Oh, yes, he's a harmless little thing. Mittens, down. Who's a good kitty? Who's a good kitty? And she'll start like ruffling his big mane. And as she like ruffles it, you can kind of tell that the mane is like the equivalent to a wig for a lion. And this is in fact a female lion who is just wearing like a wig.
Aw.
Yes, yes, you
Oh,
and you can take this silly wig off if you want. It's just to make you more intimidating, darling.
Aw.
And the lion will like paw off. Mittens will like paw off the big fake mane. Um Now, if we're going to take out the ringleader, we need to make our way up to the Channel 7 broadcasting station. It's where he's located. It's on the 12th floor of that building in the center. But we do have to be careful. I don't know how he does it, but he has sway over the things that are living and not living there.
he can control the undead? Is that what you're saying?
Just enough. I don't know how he
Mm.
does it. I mean, I can crack a whip and point in a direction and have the hordes follow a sound just as anyone else. And I'm quite adept at it too. Or I can turn this ravenous beast into, oh, what a fluffy little girl. And I mean, I'm sure I could do other amazing feats as well. But no, this man, I don't know how he does it.
Strange. Well, we'll have to be on our guard.
Yes, and I don't think he'll much appreciate outsiders coming and taking his supplies. I mean, he hasn't in the past. And she'll kind of gesture out to the mall, and you can see that, like, amongst the regular zombies that are dotted around, there are some that are obviously wearing, like, raiders' leathers. In fact, Ragna, you notice a few that are actively from your previous raiding group. And they're just kind of like zombified and like, you know, still holding their old weapons kind of uselessly to their sides.
Sure.
Now, I don't mean to put any pressure on anyone, but we did make quite a bit of noise. Apologies. And so we should be moving now.
Now, that's a good idea.
Let's head upstairs. Where's the nearest set of stairs?
The main tower, actually, will need to cross a courtyard out front and get out to it that way.
Okay.
Kita, as they're having this conversation, you can kind of sneak your way around and listen in.
She will listen in and then she'll recognize who's there. She'll see her and go, oh. And as she does it, Ragnar will hear a near her ear, as depending on where they're standing, if there's like a garbage bin.
Oh, 100%.
Like one of those like old garbage bins, and she's on it, Spider-Man style, right beside
not
Ragnar.
in it.
No, just like on it, on the sides of the rim, and Ragnar will hear it right at her ear because she's like a little gremlin. She's right there.
Just like
This
jumps, like
this teenager is right there.
yeah.
Out of curiosity, I couldn't help but just jump right into your conversation, if you don't mind.
Small one.
Yes, I am small, but I am mighty. You are tall and you have a lion. Hi, kitty. And, you know, what courtyard? Is it the one with the big tent?
Yes.
Oh, goody. So here's the thing. You don't want to go there. I was just from there, and about that, there's noises and there's a big huge horde.
You pissed him off, didn't you?
No, I just led them away.
Well, if you let them away, there's no problem.
Oh, they
Surely.
can come back. They'll come back. They'll come back. They always do. Especially since
True.
there's, us here and those 3 guys in the grocery store that are just coming out just now. And
Yeah,
they're being
and as you
chased.
point them out, the other you two can also see them. Once again, the man in his full khaki beige outfit with his cowboy hat, who looks somehow dirtier than the last time you saw him, despite like not really doing much. And then there's a man in like that blue jacket with suspenders and kind of brown pants with 2 chainsaws for hands instead of actual hands. And he is also dirtier than you remember him being, even though it's been like 5 to 10 minutes. And then the dog is fine. He's completely clean. And is actually actively eating a 32 decker sandwich made out of like spam and preserved breads.
Yeah, so about that. Oh, and also you want to get I don't know about Lion Lady, but yeah, you don't want to go back there.
I mean,
Do you think we could find a way to skirt around the courtyard?
The roof?
there is a drawbridge that lowers from the roof of this mall to about the 3rd floor of the broadcasting tower.
How
You would need
loud
to
is
get
it?
there, and to get there, well, it will be perilous.
Do you mean like parry less? Like it's going to be less parry than more less?
No, I mean, it's going to be perilous as in dangerous. In fact, actually, our sword swallower is the one who guards the roof, but I mean, it's been interesting for him since the outbreak.
I guess he doesn't like swallowing a lot of swords since the outbreak. Gotcha. Although, why would you? Bats are way better.
Yeah, yes. Something like that. Well, shall we either make our way up, or, I mean, I could just pretend that I did not see you at all and let you gather your supplies.
Whatever you like. If you want to join us in taking down this ringleader of yours, I mean, there's always room for one more, I suppose.
Okay.
I do
Just
like
twist
your
my
whip.
rubber arm.
Well, I mean, you look,
Thank you.
it's a very nice whip. Also, does anyone need yarn? And she tosses like,
Yep.
and she tosses
Yeah,
yarn.
absolutely. You
Beacon.
skirted through the yarn store when you were sneaking past the acrobats.
Oh, I also have like these weird pin things. I think they're for crocheting. They look like needles, but I figure I would get them because they're.
Hand them
oh.
over.
Can
Thank
I
you.
keep at
Thank you
least
so
two?
much.
Can I keep at least 2 because they look like great weapons?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could like stab someone if you stabbed hard enough.
Cool. I'll take 2 of them. You can have the rest, and you've got like a packet of crochet. She just wiped like a whole entire row.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, we should start moving. I believe we are starting to draw attention, and you can see like through the food court. Not only is the regular horde making their way towards you, but through the rafters, the flying 5 are making their way. Now the flying 4, the 5th of them, is running on the ground with no arms behind the horde.
I got this. You guys go ahead. I've got an idea. I'll follow. I'll follow. She takes out the 2 speakers that she has, and in the short time that she was, through this thing, she has looped up, like she has cut off the ends of the speakers so
Mhm.
that it's like it's electric bits, and somehow
Yep.
she has found another. She's like, I'm just gonna wire these to like those old security alarms. I'll be right back.
Okay. Absolutely. And what is your plan with these wired speakers?
She's going to hook them up to where she can see like the speaker phones of where like
Oh yeah, yeah.
like how in some kiosks they still have those alarm code systems.
Everyone hydrate. Yes, I do
Actually,
remember the alarm code systems.
I ate a watermelon for hydration.
That's fair. That's acceptable
so
hydration.
so she's gonna hook she's basically gonna use the wires from these speakers to those alarm things, and she's going to quickly, because she knows her way around enough to just like create a really bad alarm thing in one of the stores before running
Absolutely.
as fastly as she can to catch
Yeah,
up.
let's make a defy disaster.
Okay.
And I want you to state something that you're willing to sacrifice in case this doesn't work. What's your plan B?
She is willing to sacrifice her axe
Her
to make
axe.
this
Okay.
work. To make this work. So that's a 3.
Oh boy. That is going to be a downturn. So yeah, okay. Beacon, Ragna, and the Lion Tamer are making their way towards a door at the back of the sports store. They are heading up the stairs and towards a secret roof, and not a secret roof entrance, but a back roof entrance that was here. As such, you're doing your best to wire these speakers together. You're fumbling with the wires and you can't quite get them to connect right. And you have your axe out next to you on the table. And that's when you hear as zombies are the flying 5 are acrobating their way into the store and have now placed themselves between you and your compatriots, and the horde is upon you. You're tapping the wires, they're not connecting. The axe is there, and you do have the good sense to like throw it at one of the acrobats, and it does sink in and take one out. You're now dealing with the flying 4, not the flying 5. But in all cases of the matter, you are surrounded by undead and are in a very perilous situation. I would like you to mark hopeless, as the situation is fairly dire and your idea did not work out even in the slightest. Beacon, Ragna,
Okay.
and the Lion Tamer, you have made it onto the stairs, and the fire door behind you has closed. You can tell that the horde is closing in, but it is up to you whether you turn around and go back, or if you assume that Kita can handle herself and keep moving forward.
I have an idea. I don't like this. I don't like leaving her alone.
No, me neither. What do you have in mind?
Would I be allowed to have like homemade firecrackers?
I'm gonna pass on that one. Gunpowder is a fairly rare resource, especially with the amount of people that are looking for, guns, shells, bullets, and other zombie fighting weapons. Gunpowder would have been one of the first things to go. Not to mention, it is a fairly regulated item to begin with, even before the apocalypse. So I don't think you're going to have any readily available.
Would I have just an empty glass bottle?
Yes, that is more doable.
All right. Does it seem very easily breakable?
About as much as the glass. If you chucked it, it would probably break.
All right. I'm going to open the fire door and chuck it to the farthest part of the store away from Kaida.
For sure.
So that way it breaks.
I will give you that one, Kaida. You will have a +1 forward on your next roll.
Yeah.
As some of the zombies are distracted. But you also know, like, at this point that the, like, hey, look over there, and tossing a thing isn't going to distract a majority of zombies from the fresh meal that is right in front of them. They do have some sense of priority. Some of them do turn and look, though.
Cool. So because she's got the flying acrobats and she got one of them,
Mhm.
she's going to fight.
She's going to fight.
She's
Roll fight.
Please. So I have impressive swordplay as one of my playbook features. So
Crying.
whenever you roll a 7+ to fight, which I did, you may gain a string on someone who is present and ask the player what it is about you that has impressed or intrigued them.
Beacon, you just toss the bottle. You'd be the one there to see whatever swordplay is happening at the moment.
She's got the bat out and she is basically wielding it, and then she's got the sword, like her bat.
Yeah.
She's pulled it out like a sword, and it's like in Walking series
In
of
Walking, in the Walking
Never
Dead.
seen it.
Yeah.
Never seen
Great.
it.
Oh, cool.
that-
So
okay.
there's a weapon. There's a bat with like
Yeah,
wires, like those
yeah, the barbed wire.
barbed wire
Barbed wire.
and nails that have been like
Yeah.
put in, and she's taking that out, and then on top of that, the crochet pin that she just took from you,
Your mic went out.
she has two of them
There we
in the other hand. So she's got bat and two things, and she's chucking, she's Wolverining it with one
Yes.
hand while she's
Okay.
like fumbling to get the other one, the bat out. But she's
For
like
sure.
chops, that.
So you'll gain a string on Beacon as they are impressed. And he, Beacon, why don't you tell us what it is about Kita in this moment that has impressed you
She
or
doesn't
intrigued
give up.
you?
She
Doesn't give up.
Mm.
Phenomenal. Excellent. And what was the final roll? It was an 8.
It was
Kita?
7. It was 7 plus 1.
7 plus
right?
1, so 8 total. Yeah. So you get to choose 2 of the fight options there, and it will apply to the horde as a general, as the zombies are one collective person in the state of Thirsty Sword Lesbians combat rules.
Sorry, what are my options?
Your options are flirt with or provoke your opponent to gain a string on them. Through violence or cutting words, inflict a condition. Create an opportunity for an ally through prowess or distraction, or take an object from your opponent to seize a superior position.
Well, they're undead, so she can't really flirt with them. But
That is up to you to decide.
that
If
that
you
is
want to flirt
definitely-
with the undead, you can.
No. Chaos gremlin, chaos 1 out. I rolled a nod. So the most chaotic option we can go through with this particular
Mhm.
situation is we are in what kind of a store?
It's a sports supply store, like a.
How do we have a lot of balls in the store?
Tons of balls in the store.
Cool. She's got a bat. The one crochet has gone into the. Don't know what happened with the. She's going to put away the crochet needles into somebody's eye socket as she whacks them with a bat, and then she sees like a display of balls and golf clubs, and she gets the best idea possibly ever as she scrambles to this display of golf clubs and balls.
Oh, do it.
She's gonna start. She's gonna drop the bat, which she loves. She's like, "Sorry, bat," and she grabs the club next to her, and she starts swinging balls at them.
Yeah, absolutely. You start swinging the golf club and like knocking all these golf balls around, and I'm gonna say that it has a very like Scooby-Doo effect of a lot of the zombies start like whoop, 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 like that cartoon slippery noise as they stumble on these golf balls, and it provides you the opportunity to make it to the door.
Grab
But
that
as you
bat.
do, yeah, it's your bat. You will have it. Don't worry. If it's your weapon, as per like your sword for your class, you're not going to lose it at any point. You will always have it. In
She grabs
response,
the bats along with she's got the bat and she's got a golf club and she's swinging it madly around and she's like,
for sure,
this could be useful for somebody.
yeah. As you're kind of swinging through, yeah, okay. You see that in this horde of zombies, there is what seems to be an older zombie, older both in the fact that like the person was physically older when they turned, and also older in the fact that they've been a zombie for longer. They're more decayed than the other ones around them. But you notice that they are wearing kind of those blue overalls that a plumber would normally wear. And you have that moment of like, God dang, like these used to be people just like me, just like the people I care about. And they are going to provoke you and gain a string on you. The zombies will have a string on Kita. Excellent. You make it to the door, you barricade it shut, and you're free to move forward.
Let's go.
This
Looking
way, visitors.
Looking up at Beacon, she winks at Beacon and goes, thanks.
Ooh.
Bravo.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Do you want to make that an entice roll?
Not necessarily. She's just being flirty, but she could if
I mean,
consenting.
you're
people.
appealing to someone's physical or emotional sensibilities. It is
Would
up to you. That sounds like an entice roll to me.
the question is, would Beacon want to be enticed by the small pip squeak of a person?
Like Beacon's just like, I am like 43 years old. I need in and out of here.
I'm old.
I am old. Please, God. I just
Okay,
need my
for sure.
yarn.
Absolutely. You have your yarn and you're heading up the stairs. And you reach the roof of the mall. It is fairly barren up here, and from this vantage point, you can see the circus in the near distance. And it is once again fairly populated by the undead. It seems they have come back from their distraction, the car alarm, long burnt out by this point. And in front of you, there is the larger building, that 15 to 20 story building. And you see now from this side, you weren't able to see before, there is a large wooden drawbridge that goes from about the third or fourth floor of this building to the main tower, that main market, that main business building. And it is currently in the up position right now. But standing at where that building would, where that bridge would connect the roof of the mall to that building, there are two gentlemen. One is actually no, they're both undead. You can tell even at this distance. Their skin and their flesh is starting to decay. They've obviously been undead for a while, but they are just standing there. One of them is taller and almost unnaturally tall, and the other one is short and rotund, almost like to a bowling ball type rotundness, where he's like little arms and little legs coming out of this giant balloon type torso. And they stand there and they look at you and they grumble and moan, and they look at the lion tamer and they look at you. The taller one is groaning at you, and the lion tamer goes, "Well, the guests, nothing else, and they want to speak to the ringmaster." And the tall one goes, "At any point, you can roll to try and figure out either of these two undead that are standing here."
Oh,
Can
can
I
we
try
all
that?
do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, who's figuring out, and which one?
I want to
Okay.
try that tall one.
Beacon, try to so roll to figure a person out. Roll plus wit.
Okay. I got a 3. I know nothing.
Oof.
Just like a total between the two dice is a 3
Yeah.
plus your wit.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. This zombie man, hard to read. No clue. He's an undead like every other undead, right? Like, come on.
I do not know what he is saying. I didn't even know these people could talk.
You'll notice too that the rotund one is not speaking, and it looks like he has an expression on his face that is very clearly like trying to hold back a burp or like a bad like round of vomit perhaps. He is like very clearly like
Um, could I try my repartee, which is when you figure out a person
Yes.
during a physical conflict, you may additionally ask one of these questions even on a 6?
You're not in physical combat yet. You can be if you'd like, but the lion tamer continues to kind of chat at these undead and goes, "Well, I know that he doesn't like visitors and that we're not to let anyone in, but these ones were different. And plus, we've been doing this for how long now? Changing procedure might be nice every now and then. Won't it, Steve?" And Steve
Can
Steve the sword swallower just looks back at her and goes,
Can I use I have a playbook move that's Wicked
Yes.
Past.
"Absolutely. Look at that past, baby. What is up? What is this? Tell me what you do."
When I hear about a villain for the first time, I can decide that I know them from my past. So they
Sword
I just
swallowing
want to know
Steve? Yeah,
Steve
for
the
sure.
sword swallower, yeah.
Absolutely.
So he would gain a string on me, and then I get to ask
Okay.
one question from figure out a person and take one forward.
Okay, take one forward, ask your question, and zombie Steve.
I
will,
mean, I guess
get
the
a
most
string.
the most pertinent probably would be, how could I get you to let us go forwards? Let us pass.
Yeah. He kind of looks at you, and he has that like glint of recognition as you realize you knew Steve before he was a zombie. It was actually the before times you were friends of his. And you were excited that he was in town with this carnival doing performance. And I mean, you thought it was the worst, like it was the end of him when you heard that the outbreak had happened here. And from what you can tell, he's rotting away just like the rest of the masses. And yet he stands here. And from like the glint in his eye, the thing that you will need to do to get him to let you pass is to remove him from the roof somehow. Either through combat or something else. Whatever solution you want to get to. He just has to not be here. Him and Bertrand is the other thing I'll give you. It's Bertrand and Steve.
Yeah.
Fire belching
Perfect.
Bertrand and sword swallowing Steve. They were a duo act at the circus.
Amazing. I mean, I don't necessarily have a second one that I want to ask. Sorry, was it ask one or ask two? Maybe
It's
just
ask one.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Then what I want to do is if we have yarn that we got from that yarn store, like the really big yarn that's for like arm weaving, like arm knitting.
Yeah. Macrame.
Yeah. Can I make a lasso and just try to lasso him off the roof?
For sure you can. Give me a defy danger. Because this is fun. And I like having you sacrifice things if you fail. And also you'll sacrifice what are you willing to sacrifice to make this happen?
Oh boy.
Aside from the yarn.
Ooh, I mean, I guess maybe I'll say my pack of supplies.
Okay.
If I drop it to like make the lasso happen and
make the lasso heavier. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What did we roll?
Yeah.
Plus whatever daring, grace, heart, wit, or spirit.
I mean, I'll do daring, but it's not gonna help much.
Okay.
So
what'd you roll?
I rolled a 3. Plus 1 daring, so 4.
4.
And plus 1 forward, 5.
Yeah, that'd be 5. You need a 7 to even get a sacrifice success. So this does not happen. What does happen though is you do lasso him, you give him a tug, and you realize it's not going to be enough. So you tie the other end to your supply pack and toss it off the roof. And as you do, Steve kind of shifts a little bit. And then he like squats and condenses his body as much as he can. And out of his rotting corpse, have you ever seen those like magic tricks where they'll stab a whole bunch of swords into a box?
Yeah.
And like they're like, there's somebody inside, and whoa, they didn't get hurt. Steve in his undeath has become a box like this. And as he condenses his body, swords just stick out in every direction and sever the yarn that is around him. And then he unaccordions his body back to upright, and all the swords like retract back into him.
Kita will look at what has just happened and like, ooh, shiny pink cushion. I want it.
Before this escalates, I want to ask a question to
absolutely.
Steve.
You're going to ask a question to Steve.
Yeah. And also Bertrand, aren't you two a little bit tired of just sitting on this roof all day?
Ooh, I want you to entice. Roll plus heart.
Roll plus heart. Cool. I got a 7 at a -1.
Ooh.
No, the 7 is after the -1.
The 7 is after the -1.
Yes.
That barely makes it. You will gain a string on Bertrand and sword swallowing Steve. Unless they decide to choose one. And they're going to promise something they think you want.
Okay.
So Steve will look at you and he'll raise up from his pocket a little flag and he'll give it a little wave, and the drawbridge will start to descend.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say thank you. Can you try to keep the bridge down as long as possible? I don't know what you're saying, but thank you.
And he does like a little bow, and Bertrand tries to bow but can't, given his state.
Let's head up.
Okay. As you go to cross the bridge, Bertrand raises like another flag, and the bridge starts to go up behind you.
Okay.
And as it does, you turn and you watch Bertrand, the little rotund one, kind of rears back and rocks back a little bit before leaning forward, and oil ignites in his mouth because he's a fire breather, and he will start burning the back end of the bridge behind you. It is now on fire and rapidly catching.
I'm running.
You need to make it across this bridge, and when you go to leave, the bridge will not be accessible.
Okay.
Just book it.
And this
Can
also
I
serves as
parkour?
a yeah, absolutely. We're booking in. We also you can also assume from this point that the people inside probably know that you didn't get in as friends.
Mhm.
So you might have some struggles going forward.
Yeah.
The lion tamer will go, oh, gosh darn it, Bertrand, you always were a two-sided son of a carny. Damn if I
Steve was
don't love
about
the
the same.
showmanship, though. Well, be careful. These lower floors aren't fully cleared, and we might run into some undead, but we should be safe from here, all things considered.
Are there any service access ways that we could use that would keep us out of sight?
Unfortunately, they've all been blocked off. When we took the upper floors and barricaded them, we decided it best to reduce the amount of entrances to ensure safety.
Makes sense.
One way up, one way down.
Okay.
And you make your way up this building. You make it through empty cubicles. In fact, actually, as you pass, you can swear that one of them is still full, and you're unsure if there are just zombies sitting in cubicles or if the office workers never really left their job in the first place. And as you make it up to the top, to the broadcasting floors, a hatch is lifted for you. And inside, you can see there is a mix of both living and undead beings standing in a room, not actively going for each other's throats, but there is a mix of carnival folk and undead carnival folk that all seem to be occupying this space. The undead seem full of life despite being dead, and the living carnival folks seem to be fairly dead despite being alive. Making for a fairly odd crew of performers in front of you.
Are there any clowns in this room?
There are no clowns in this room.
This is a broadcast room, right?
Yes, this would be the main broadcast floor. So at the very back end, there is a fairly disrupted like newsroom floor. The table still stands. The backgrounds have kind of been torn and disheveled. There are some like blood stains and such across the room from the original infection and the scrap to get in here. The doors have been repaired, at least to the best of their ability. And you're surrounded by carnival folk.
is there, like, could we fashion ourselves a disguise, or we're already kind of in there? It's maybe
You're
too
already
late.
kind of in there. They knew you were coming.
Yeah,
And there's no kind of getting out of it at this point.
yeah.
And the lights
Yeah.
lower in the room. And then a spotlight shines down on the old news broadcast floor. And you hear from somewhere in the room, ladies and gentlemen, living and dead, we present to you the marvelous Wandering Three-Ring Circus. And our host, with the most for every evening for the last 40 years, it's Ringmaster. And it hangs with a very weird pause. And then into the spotlight comes tumbling a very well-dressed person of no distinct gender of any sort. They wear a very tall top hat, that traditional ringmaster cane with the tall boots, the double-breasted twin-tail circus coat gilded with gold, where the Beast Tamer's is fairly plain in decoration. The Ringmaster's is gold, has gold filigree on it, golden buttons, and is definitely made to be an eye catch of an outfit. And they stand in front of you and go, I am the Ringmaster. And to what do I owe the pleasure? After all, we may be circus folks, but we try our best not to drag in rats.
Kind of just finds a place to squat, and she's clapping. She's like, that was amazing. That was wonderful. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
She's going to try to figure out this person, because she also, in the midst of her like squatting, she just kind of hip elbow check somebody. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely roll to figure out the Ringmaster.
Do I add wits?
Add wit. Yes.
Yes. 11.
11. Okay, you may ask 2 questions from the list now or later in the scene.
Later in the scene, because I think these 2 questions that I have are pretty good questions.
Okay. Absolutely. Now, judging by your attire, you're what? Scavengers, pillagers, looking to come and steal from our resources? Is that correct? After all, actually, I think I've heard of you. Beacon, the merchant that gets everyone around them killed. And Ragnar, don't think that you haven't made a name for yourself. This area used to be much more populated before you and your band came through.
That was a long time ago. We're just trying to carve out a space for ourselves here. Surely the mall is big enough that there's space for all of us.
I mean, we're supporting a whole family already. Look at us. Aren't we thriving? And a lot of the circus, like undead and living circus folks start like clapping to show their agreement with the statement.
I don't know. Are you thriving?
I mean, take a look around. Everyone here is fed, is warm, has a place to sleep. And, above all, this is the richest the circus has ever been.
Rich, maybe, but the humans look more like zombies than the zombies do.
Well, everything's been a little different since the outbreak. I mean, it's hard to keep hopes up even to those who aren't witnessing the wonders. But we're the circus. We've always had our arms open to those who don't fit the social norm. And the undead are just another set of outcasts from this world.
Sure, and very kind of you to take them in, I suppose. What is it that you're doing to control them?
Oh, well, trade secrets.
Of course.
Do I know this person?
No. Off the top of your mind, they don't ring a bell. If you'd like to roll to figure out a person, you can.
Okay. Because this has gone so well in the past.
Yeah. From what you can tell, whether you know the person or not, they seem to have a fairly good understanding of what's been going on around the city.
9.
9.
Wait,
Okay.
What's the plus to figure out a person?
Wit.
Wit? Okay, I got nothing. I got 9.
9. Okay, you get to ask 2 questions from the list, but the ringmaster is going to get to ask 1 in return.
Okay. I am looking at like what it is. That's entice. That's not it. Figure out a person. Oh. Okay. Okay. How could I get you to step down as ringmaster? Not leave, but to step down.
It's a change in management you want. Well, they would need to sign the contract. After all, ringmaster is not but a title. It is a responsibility. One that I have burdened for quite a long time. And I'm not quite sure how upper management would appreciate the change.
From above the newsroom rafters, because that's where she
Yeah.
has found herself into, Kira hangs upside down and
Yeah.
above the room, and she's surveying the area. And she is now right beside the ringmaster's head,
Okay.
just upside
Huh.
down. And she goes, "So there's more of you."
Well, there's only one of me. But
No, you just said there's
It-
more of you. You said there's upper up, so there's got to be more than one floor. Up.
I mean, we are only on the 10th floor. There's another few floors beyond this.
So
but
who's beyond you?
I mean, mostly beds and a mess hall and some entertainment rooms. It's really just a compound up there.
Okay, no, but who's beyond you?
Oh, upper management.
Who's upper management?
You don't want to know, darling.
Is there below management too?
I mean, you've met some of them. Sword swallowing Steve and fire belching Bertrand are doormen. They are.
You mean the bib. Okay.
There's
well,
also our watchman, eagle-eyed Eric, and he points over, and that's Ragna, who you saw standing, keeping watch. It's a fairly like tall man who is fairly well built. You can see now he's got that white t-shirt, the suspenders, and like brown pants that seem to be like canvas or like burlap. He probably like would have been a stage manager or something for the circus before all of this.
Well, he's not really eagle-eyed, is he? He didn't catch me when I was setting off alarms. And she goes back up to the rafters.
And he leans forward and he goes, "I've been watching you since you approached from about 10 blocks away.
Ooh,
Nothing
you are
escaped the eagle
eagle-eyed.
eye.
You are eagle-eyed. Do you have wings?
You approached via rooftop. No, I do not have wings."
Oh, really? And she's like crawling up these rafters to get to eagle-eyed Eric. So tell me your secrets. What would make everybody here run away from me?
Oh, that is one of your figure out a person questions. That is a ringmaster question. Because you figured out the ringmaster. So the ringmaster will respond. Well, if you wanted everyone in this room to run away from you right now, I guess it would be, well, here. And they'll hold out a horn, like the one Eagle Eye Eric was using earlier, that silver bell, but instead of a black bulb on the end of that black rubber, it's instead of bright red rubber. And he goes, you could always just honk this horn, and I mean, everyone here would need to find somewhere else to be quickly.
Ooh. Isn't there a song called Send in the Clowns? Is this one of those things where you send in the clowns?
Oh, I mean, sending in is maybe an overstatement. Summon
That's a self-destruct button.
clowns, end the clowns. I mean, they are devious little creatures, aren't they?
I have one more question. I'm trying to figure out what to do.
Absolutely. Ask away, Beacon.
What are your feelings towards upper management?
Ooh.
Honestly, I love them. And you can tell from the hesitation and the performance of it, they are terrified of them.
Are they up above the floors above us?
I wouldn't say that. I would even say that they are in this very room, and the rooms below, and the rooms above, and really anywhere else too.
I'm going to mouth, where's the camera?
Where's the camera?
Where's the camera or where's the mic?
For what?
I'm trying to get upper management out of the room.
Ooh. Oh, no. You misunderstand. We're circus folks. There's very little in the way of electronics. There's no mic or camera in the room. Upper management is here. You can meet them if you'd like. But don't hold me accountable.
You're scared, aren't you?
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about.
So how do we work with upper management? How do we get hired?
I mean, you can sign the contract just like everyone else did.
I don't know how to read.
It's okay. Most of the folks here couldn't when we signed them either.
Isn't that exploitation?
Yes.
Well, we are offering a home. A lot of these people were unwanted freaks, kicked out, people who had nowhere else to go. And so they signed with us. And you see people from the crowd, start to do that, I was 5 and my parents kicked me out because I couldn't work in the coal mine, and I was 7 and I started to grow a beard even though I was a little girl. And you got, I was born with 6 toes and everyone in my village said that I was cursed, We're all great. The general energy is we're all grateful for the circus because even though it was hard work, it was honest work, and it was home and it was family when no one else would be.
If you could have that family without the fear, would you?
I mean, who wouldn't? But I think this is a little bit beyond your scope.
maybe we should meet upper management and see what we're
Okay.
dealing with.
If
Mhm.
that's what you really want. And the ringmaster will hold up the red bulbed horn and and everyone else in the room scatters. They leave outdoors, some out windows, to like pure endless death out the window, falling multiple stories. Some
Oh
up,
my
some
God.
down. Everyone from the circus scatters. And the ringmaster goes, "Don't say I didn't warn you." And they place their top hat down on the ground, step into it, and just fall through the hat, through the floor somehow, maybe, and disappear from the room. And for a moment, you sit in silence. And
Kita
then you
is.
hear it.
Oh no.
The circus pipe organ starts playing. And the music starts winding. And you notice around the room, there are a number of cabinet doors, service doors, electrical breaker doors, supply closets, doors to other rooms. And out of one door opens and walks in a gentleman with very large shoes, his pale skin rotting on the edges, his polka dot unitard ruffled and decorated at the edges, and his large red nose decorating his otherwise pale and sallow face. Out of another door comes another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Out of these impossibly small entrances and exits, out of service closets, breaker root, like electrical breaker doors, come endless amounts of clowns.
Oh.
And they stand at the front of the stage, all in some form of decay. And they reach up collectively, all at the same time, and they reach to their partner with their right hand over to the partner on the left and honks their clown nose. And they all speak in unison. "Who dares disturb our slumber?
Kita's gonna
We
clap her
are the
hands.
clowns."
Wow.
We've made a terrible
you-
mistake.
Have made a terrible mistake. Now, I'll ask you this once, and only once. All the clowns are speaking in unison. It is a cacophony of clown voices. Would you like one death or two? And they will, in unison, raise up their giant clown hammers
Wait,
and take an aggressive stance towards you.
wait a minute. Wait a moment. I need to understand something.
Sure. Is this Beacon asking the clowns, or is this Jelly asking the DM, or is this Beacon asking the DM?
This is Beacon asking the clowns. This is not Beacon
That's
asking God.
phenomenal. Beacon can ask God whatever Beacon likes. Whether God answers is a different question.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, okay. Ask the clowns.
Is there a way, if we could provide something for you, that you let us go?
We have everything we need. A captive audience, a place to stay, and unlimited clown cars.
I don't think you have as captive as an audience as you think you do.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
You
It
hear Kita
seems-
slow clap from the back.
Surely there's something you want or something you need. No?
We are the clowns. We are perfect beings. We do not want or need for anything.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm looking for a fucking exit.
Absolutely. What are you trying for?
A hatch.
A hatch.
A hatch, anything. Anything, wall,
Okay.
floor.
I need you to roll 1d6 for me for a hatch.
5.
5. Okay. So you go, you pull the knob on the hatch, and the hatch swings open, and you immediately get pied in the face.
God damn it.
And then the hatch closes. Nice try, but you fell for the oldest trick in the book. Do you like it? It's banana cream.
He's just laughing a little bit.
And the clowns are going to actually impose the angry status upon you.
Ooh.
Can I ask one polite question?
Only if it's polite. After all, it's your unbirthday.
My sister was here the day everything happened.
Out of character, what is your sister's name?
Chrissy.
Chrissy. Okay. The clowns will look at you. All of them. All approximately 50 clowns that are occupying a very small space. And they'll go, "We remember her. She was here. In fact, why don't you say hi?" And from the clowns, a smaller one steps forward, undead as all the others, grease paint on the face, but still a face you can recall. The nose is a bright cherry red. Her hat is one of those like triangular ones that comes to a little point with a pom-pom on top. And the clowns go, "We are one now. There is no her without us, and no
Can
us without her."
Can I try something?
You may.
I'm just gonna honk the nose.
For sure. You honk the nose, and it goes, no, actually, you honk the nose, and it goes, "Brother." Because why the hell not? But the clown is unaffected by the honking beyond this.
I'm gonna ask GM question as
Yes.
myself. Do these count as a group?
This is a single entity.
Okay, I'm gonna try and inflict a condition if I can. I'm gonna try and fight.
Yeah, roll for fight.
All right. I don't remember what I add for fight. I think it's daring or
plus
grace.
daring or plus grace.
Okay. I think I got a 7. I did.
Total?
I'm bad at math.
Absolutely. So yeah, you choose 2, and the opponent's gonna choose 1.
Okay. I am immediately inflicting a condition.
For sure. What condition are you inflicting?
I don't remember what these conditions are, unfortunately.
Angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, and insecure.
Ooh, I'm between hopeless and insecure. Ooh, what would be nastier? I think I'm gonna go with insecure.
Okay. Well then, you have chosen the warpath. And you have left us no choice. We will eradicate you.
Thank you.
And what's your second
Am I allowed to pick a same one?
No, it has to be two different ones.
Okay. I'm also looking for the thing on the moves reference. And I'm also very not able to see very well. Oh.
It's okay.
Seize a superior position.
Sure. We'll say that you have put yourself in a position, maybe on top of a table or something, that is a little bit safer. Or a little bit more out of the way.
While this is
And-
happening,
Yeah, absolutely.
While this is happening, could Kaida be able to spot where they're putting all their tricks?
Where they're putting all their tricks?
Yeah, like
yeah.
she's figuring it out and disabling them.
Okay. Let's do we're gonna do a modified figure it out person, so just roll plus wit, and we'll just do a pass fail. If you succeed, you'll get some information. If you fail, you won't.
Never mind. I'm sorry. I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was just two natural ones.
Ooh.
Oof. Yeah, okay. So with that, Kaida, you're like trying to watch and see where they're putting tricks. And you're like watching and watching and focused. And then all of a sudden one of the clowns is in front of you. And they go, here, hold this. And they like hand out their hand and take yours. And a little flower on their lapel squirts you in the face. And we're going to mark you're already hopeless, correct? You're going to take insecure for falling for such an easy and foolish trick. And they go, well, it appears that you aren't willing to join us. And therefore, you will be sent to the tank. And they are going to wind up their hammers. And they smash them down on the ground. And you all start falling. Everyone is going to mark a condition of their choice, as you are dealing with some undead eldritch entity known as the clowns.
As they're falling, kind of goes into this moment of, because I want to clear my hopeless condition, because I've got 3 conditions. She's losing herself in the fantasy of what it would feel like to strangle a clown.
What do we feel like to strangle a clown?
Especially the
I'm
clown
also going.
especially the clown that squirted her with their flower. And,
Is this a what move is this?
I don't know. It's like to lose yourself in escapism or pleasure when you should be doing something important, like saving herself.
Okay, for sure.
So she's escaping into this fantasy of she had she was able to, despite being squirted in the face, reach out to the clown who did it, and then figured out a way to strangle them.
Okay.
Again.
So what are your 3 conditions right now before clearing
Angry,
one of them? Angry,
hopeless,
hopeless,
and insecure.
and insecure. Okay, you're gonna clear insecure, but because of the violent nature of your fantasy, I'm gonna say you can't clear angry without help from someone else.
Okay, how about hopeless?
Okay, yeah, hopeless will clear, but anger you will need somebody else to help you to clear it.
I wonder if I'm allowed to like use one of my own moves on me.
What's the move?
I'm looking. I'm looking. I'm looking. Ooh. Okay. I'm thinking either fanatical self-sacrifice, or I'm also thinking lay on hands for like I wonder if like healing physical ailments also counts as like healing those those like conditions.
So yeah. So with Thirsty Sword Lesbians, there isn't a difference between physical and emotional conditions. There is only the emotional ones. Lay on Hands is an extra boost to your emotional support move, which you can take later, but you can't use it on yourself.
Okay.
Same things with Fanatical Self-Sacrifice. You can use it to keep a condition from falling to an ally, but you can't use it to keep a condition from falling to yourself because
Okay.
you'd be taking on your ally's condition.
Okay. I'm going to try and use lay on hands to help my friends here.
For sure. You all land in an area, and suddenly, like, it's dark, and you're gonna use your lay on hands. So let's roll some emotional support. And who are you assisting?
Can I assist both of my friends?
You get to choose one.
Oh darn! I have 2 hands.
But it's lay on hands. You need both of them to lay. Nobody clip that, please.
Clip it. Clip it right now.
Clip it right now.
No, thank you. I'm good. I've got an idea for my anger banishment,
No.
but maybe.
All right, Ragnar.
Okay.
Master.
Sure.
Okay.
What?
Heal their physical ailments. Tell them how your devotion sustains you, and they mark an XP if they validate your devotion, and you gain a string on them if they criticize it.
I'm not good.
So how does your devotion sustain you?
If I don't get out, you are. And that's what's keeping me alive. That's what's keeping me alive right now. You are getting out.
That's not... Beacon, if we get out, we're getting out together. That's... I'm not leaving you behind.
You're gonna gain a string on Ragna. Because that sounds like a not validating your devotion, instead criticizing it.
All right, gain another string. Yay!
And the lights will light up. You were falling in darkness, and now you find yourself, all 3 of you are sitting on a bench suspended over a pool of water. Beside you, there is a large red and white target. And across the room, you can see the clowns are not 50 individual clowns now, but instead one writhing mass of 50 clowns making one giant clown body. And in collection, they say, "Now step right up, folks. It's time for the dunk tank. Now tell me, Ragnar, you were vicious for quite some time. You've sold out other folks for your own well-being. And I'm willing to bet that right now, you'll do it again. After all, if you look below, not only is it wet, but you'll notice it's quite hungry. And you'll look down below, and in the dunk tank, there you can see two sharks swimming, but they're not regular sharks. They are somehow grease painted white with red cheeks and bright red noses. I bet you didn't expect this for a post-apocalyptic game.
No, that's very good.
Now tell me, is it going to be you or is it them?
Me. If you don't listen, I'll do whatever you want. You don't need them. I'll sign your contract, whatever. Let them go, and I'll sign the contract.
Ooh, a tempting offer. But I feel like your compatriot Beacon has something else to say about that. Don't you? And they're going to expend the string on you as you can see at the forefront of the clown's body, your sister is there. And she looks lonely. You could fix that, Beacon. Get your friends out and reunite with your sister. Wouldn't that be so nice?
We're all getting out.
Okay.
Is there any way to start a fire from here if I throw something hard enough?
No.
Okay.
You're in one of those like carnival dunk tanks. It's just made for 3 people and has sharks in it.
Okay. I was wondering if there was something beyond us.
Anything you can see beyond the clowns and the dunk tank is like the blackness of a stage that is not yet lit.
Okay.
Well then, I guess Ragnar is going out with a bang. And Ragnar, in front of you, a little like piece of paper pops out of the bench and sets up, and it is a contract to join the circus.
Ooh.
What does the contract say?
Ooh, yes.
What does it say?
What does it say? Kita, if you are looking over, the contract looks like gibberish. Ragnar, though, you're looking at this contract, and it basically reads, one standard issue contract to join the Wandering Circus. The signee upon signing will be employed ad lim to the circus indefinitely or until termination. The circus promises to provide food, shelter, drink, and whatever else may be needed. In return, the signee will provide labor, entertainment, and joy for people of all ages.
Can I use one of my playbook moves is always suspect when you pretend to be a villain to win a villain's trust?
Yes, absolutely you can.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
We know you want to sign it, Ragnar. You're just like us.
What if I offer you something better? I don't whatever the limitations of this contract are, I'm not interested. But what if we were equal partners? What if I could give you access to an even more captive audience?
What do you have in mind?
Well, we're in a broadcast studio, aren't we? Does any of this equipment still work?
No. The power's been out for 20-odd years.
If I could get you a generator, a power source, to make use of this equipment,
We could
then you wouldn't be
broadcast to the
limited to just...
entire world.
Your limitations would be endless.
I could be convinced. You and me ruling forever together. Well, isn't that just a sweet deal?
But you have to let the other two go. They can't contribute anything to you. They're worthless.
Okay.
Is there a,
We'll let
while we're in this tank, just out of curiosity, is there a, because Kita has figured this entity out to some degree, they have a strength, like she shares the strength with them. Can she figure out a way to get off this tank? Like, has she figured out a way to...
You can tell that it's weighted in such a way that if you were to get off, somebody else would fall in. All three of you are keeping each other in balance and in suspension right now. Fine. If you are going to make a partnership with us, you're going to need to prove that you're just as evil as you say. Now, I have a perfect way to demonstrate this. And the clowns will snap their fingers. And Ragna, your perception shifts immediately. Suddenly, you are no longer sitting on the dunk tank looking at the clowns, but you are now standing in front of a table with a set of 3 baseballs on it, looking at the dunk tank. Beacon and Kaida still sit on the benches, and there is some sort of weight that is replacing your spot, keeping everything in balance. Prove yourself to us. Sink them. We know you want to. After all, you're just a criminal like the rest of us.
Ooh. Can I use, like, figure someone out to see if there's, I don't know, a weakness or something I can use in this moment?
Yeah, you can try and figure out the clowns again. Actually, you haven't figured out the clowns yet.
I haven't. This will be my one. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's plus wit, right?
Yes.
I have an 8.
Okay, if you'd like, you can spend your string on the clowns to add 3 to the roll.
Oh, yeah, I would love to do that. Let's go.
Okay, so 11, you may ask 2 questions of the clowns.
Okay. Hang on a sec.
Give in to the madness. Honk, honk. Become as one.
What? What do you love most? Actually, no, sorry. Immediate buyer's remorse. What do you hope to gain from all of us joining you?
Well, to put it simply, more clowns.
I should have seen that coming, I suppose.
I envision a world where there's nothing but clowns, where we all understand each other and have reached true harmony.
Oh. Okay. And the second, how could I get you? Is it too big to ask, how could I get you to disassemble, to like disband?
Oh, disband the clowns?
Yeah.
You can ask.
Yeah.
You will need to free us from our clowny prison.
Oh. What is the nature of your prison?
We are just the clowns. We know nothing but large shoes and squeaky noses.
Is there someone holding you in this prison? Well,
No, the clowns are endless. The clowns are beyond. The clowns are eternal.
If your goal is to have more clowns to bring people joy, how are you... If the clowns are everything, the clowns are eternal, then how can you really appreciate joy?
That's such a silly question. This is so silly.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous. What have I walked us into?
I don't know.
This was your decision.
I know.
Ma'am.
I know this was my decision. It was all of our decisions. I wasn't expecting it to go this way. I wasn't expecting somebody to go, hey, you want to be the boss, right? Let's do that instead of gather resources.
Honestly, we've made every decision at every step of the way that would bring us to this point. So.
You chose the clowns.
Just a beside Beacon, you would hear it's kind of swinging her legs above water. Do you think those sharks are also part of that creepy clown thing?
Probably.
Do you think what would happen if you... Yeah, go on.
I wonder what would happen if you took off the nose.
I wonder too. Would they like be undead noses? I mean, like all of them are shambly. You keep looking at that small one over there, though.
Yeah. I'm going to see for Ragna at the nose.
If you say that you're endless, but I can't help but notice that you are confined to physical forms.
The physical is just the beginning. We are clown in mind, body, and soul. We are one through grease paint and uniform.
Isn't this against the spirit of what the circus is about? Taking people in for appreciating all of their uniqueness and their differences and... No?
For the rest of the circus. But we are the clowns.
No, yeah, I'm getting that, I see.
And yet we contain multitudes. There's the sad ones, and the happy ones, and the angry ones. I wonder what type of clown you will be.
Can I still have what? Is it just one ball that I'm holding that they've given me?
Yeah, they've given you one baseball.
Can I just hurl it into the clown's face?
Yes, you may.
Okay,
Please
great.
knock off the nose. Please knock off the nose.
Yeah, aiming for the nose. Aim for the nose.
Sure. Aim for the nose. Actually, let's defy disaster here.
Great.
I'm going to ask you to roll plus whatever skill it is that you want to use to toss this baseball.
Excellent. I think daring. Daring is good for me.
Hell yeah.
I would also like to use the dice pool also that I've forgotten this whole time.
Absolutely.
Great. Let's go. Okay, it's 5, 8 for just mine, and then what is it? I pick one dice from the dice pool?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you can take both if you'd like.
No, that's fine. I rolled a 6, so that's 14 plus my 1 is 15 total.
Excellent. You do it with grace. Please describe how you are throwing this baseball at a clown's nose.
Just literally like in a cartoon where you like wind up and then let loose, and it just
for sure.
hits the nose head on and pops it, explodes the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So we get this slow-mo of the baseball colliding with the nose, and then it pops almost like a zit, but instead of like pus, it's confetti.
God.
And the clowns start to like fall out of form, and they go, "Oh no, we're dissolving!" And they start to like fall out of form and tumble to the ground. And they like hit the ground, and some of the uniforms fall off, and like the big shoes start to disappear, and you can hear the like, "Oh."
Suddenly,
No.
Beacon, you don't understand how she's managed to do it, but Kaida now has fans with Ragna's face on it. She's got a huge like headband around her head,
Yeah,
and she goes, "Woo!
absolutely.
Go Ragna, you hot cutie!"
Hey, we were the clowns, and we will always be the clowns. Although we disappear from this time and space, we will return. And we will have the true clown nation.
Ugh.
But until then, that's all, folks. And they all melt into
Are you
piles
legally
of
allowed
grease
to do
paint.
that?
Yeah, I am. If Looney Tunes, if Warner Brothers wants to come at me, they can. Come at me, Warner Bro. Please don't. We're fine. We're fine. I can reference media as long as I like under the rules of parody.
Perfect.
And they will melt into grease paint, and you suddenly find yourself back on kind of the third floor where that drawbridge was. It has still burnt, and you are free to leave if you can find a way out.
There is a bottom floor to this building, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There's a bottom floor. You can descend the 3 floors to reach the bottom.
Kaida, what would you like to say?
Kaida's gonna be like, "That was an amazing show. I got your bag, by the way."
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it.
But you see, like it's just the bag. Like the other parts of it is gone. I'm sorry, I couldn't save all of it though.
No, that's all right. We can find more things. They're only things.
They're important things for our survival. People need them to live, you know.
I know. Yep.
Okay.
That's fair.
We just faced a whole bunch of we faced a creepy clown monster.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Did you know that? She is completely smitten.
Oh, thank you.
She is smitten. So lesser foresight, when you become smitten with someone you barely know, declare your undying love and give them a string on you.
Yes. And then answer the question from your truth of hearts and blades.
I forgot which one that was.
Scoundrel. Truth. When you become smitten with someone, say why, give them a string, and answer this question. Why would your romance never last?
The only thing is, you and I, we are forever apart because you are big, beefy, and tall, and I am scrawny, skinny, and probably too young for you.
Yes, 2 different worlds. Yeah, that's yeah. But I appreciate you. You helped us so much today. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
don't know what I did. I was just whistling, and right beside this one looks up to Beacon. I don't even know your name, but I know hers. She had this girlfriend who was super hot.
She was so hot.
She was. You were lucky.
Yeah.
Real lucky.
Yeah. I want to take the 2 cufflinks that I pocketed from earlier. I want to just
absolutely
go back over to Beacon and just I'm sorry. Listen, I just wanted to say I didn't mean to call you worthless. I picked these up earlier. If you want to have them.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, I knew it.
Good. I'm glad.
excellent.
Now let's get out of here.
Let's
Absolutely. The 3 of you make your way back to Beacon's bike, and you head off into the sunset. In the distance, you see the other group of 3 survivors, all heavy laden with so much supplies because you gathered none of it.
I have my yarn. I never lost
You
that.
got yeah.
And the crochet needles. I got those. I never left those behind.
So you've got Sheriff Rodney, Ashlyn, and I don't know, Noodly Doo, the dog, who all made it out with arms full of supplies from this small tune. You see them heading their own direction away
Hey,
from
you
you.
need sweaters?
Kaida's actually going to say, "I'll see you around, Ragna. See you, hot stuff. Bye, bye, cutie." And she sees that too, Beacon, and she dashes after the 3 of them, like, "Hey, you owe me one."
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna like take my bike, go around to them, and also say like, "Hey, you guys need like sweaters made for winter?"
Oh my
socks?
gosh.
We're gonna make so many socks.
Oh, you have crutches. I need that.
Yeah, and they will very confusedly share what supplies they have because it's obviously too much for them to carry. The yeah, and you split up supplies and you head on your ways out and about.
Can I hold Ragna's hand?
Aw,
Yeah.
cute.
Roll to hold hands.
Roll to hold hands. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And as the sun sets, you return home. Kaida, you're welcomed home by your lovely plumber dads, who give you a pat on the back and thank you for the supply run. And a little bit more of a meal is had to celebrate the fact that you came back okay. And then Ragna and Beacon, you go back to your little hideout that you have together with your supplies and get to knitting and maintenance and things like that. Is there any specific epilogue type content you would like to share about your character?
Beacon's feeding the pigs, still synthesizing their testosterone. Probably gonna like, if he asks permission to like kiss Ragna, he would.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cute.
I think that Ragna has never knit or crocheted literally anything. But
everybody else
to
did
teach
for her.
Yeah. But tries to teach herself to try and knit a scarf for Beacon.
Cute.
Kaida has found a scooter and has decided to visit between her plumber dads and Ragna and he can, in between the
Absolutely.
two, she just randomly stops by one day with mushrooms, and she's like, I found these in the forest. I
love
don't
that.
know if
Oh.
they're poisonous though.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we could find a way to figure it out.
I heard people like to smoke them.
I don't think that's
Oh.
true.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, we will wrap up post-apocalyptic. Thank you all for joining us for Drop Dead Gorgeous, which went in a very silly, wild direction that I could not have accounted for.
God. It was so fun.
Yes.
One more time, we're gonna go around, let the players just go over who are you and where can people find you going forward. Let's start with Rem of the Realm.
Yes, hello. I'm me once again. I'm Rem of the Realm on most social media. You can usually find me on Rolls Revamped. We do a lot of weird TTRPG stuff. And I'm also doing some editing and various other admin things for Even Footing Games. So please go and check them out.
Absolutely. And GM of Revan.
Hey everybody, my name is GM of Revan. You can call me N. You can find me on the internet as GM of Revan. I make maps on Incarnate. You can commission me. And I also do games like this. And I'm on D&D Denial playing a barbarian. You can watch me that on most Saturdays. And then I'm going to be also game mastering at some point in the near future. I'll take it away to begin.
To Jellyfish Lines.
Hi,
Where
everyone.
can people
I'm
find ya?
Jellyfish Lines. You can find me most everywhere on Jellyfish Lines or go to jellyfishlines.card.co and find me everywhere there, including some stuff that I'm upcoming in, including 2 different podcasts. Playback Static, which is an actual play of Jason Cordova's and the Gauntlets public access, which is a great horror game. I love to make my players piss their pants first session.
Absolutely.
And I'm also running
Absolutely.
I'm also co-hosting Flyleaf to End Page, which is upcoming with a friend of mine, and that's where we talk about tabletop RPGs in a general sense, like
Nice.
mechanical wise, narrative, just culture around play styles as well.
That's awesome. And of course, you know me. You all know me. I'm around. You've seen it. You've heard it. My name's Neon Graffiti, or just Neon for short, or if we're friends. You've seen me around on the Legends of Logomancy channel. You've seen me running Thirsty Sword Lesbian games all through Pride Month and continuing to this month because we got some awesome donations for extra episodes and such that we'll be playing through in the next month and a bit here. You can find me at It's Neon Graffiti anywhere on the internet or through Logomancy Media. If you hit them up and go, hey, I want to talk to that weird one that did the clown thing, they'll know where to point you. Aside from that, you can find me on Twitch at It's Neon Graffiti. I believe that I'm gonna have Rem over on Thursday for another game of Monster Road Trip, as well as our wonderful friend Lee, to celebrate my hitting 50 followers. So if you haven't followed already, please do come say hi. Or coming in August, we have the return of a very fun special show that I'm very excited for. And you can catch it Wednesday nights here on Legends of Logomancy. But until then, keep your ear to the ground for those Monday night games. We'll be running Daggerheart soon again.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll be running the Daggerheart playtest soon on those Monday night streams. So tune in there, spread the love. And of course, if you haven't already, please check out the Tiltify link to donate to the Trans Empowerment Project. They're a wonderful nonprofit, and I have been so honored to be included in raising money and funds for them this last month through playing awesome games with awesome creators like the ones you see right in front of you tonight, and all the other ones who contributed to the Pride Month fundraiser. Tonight, we're going to be raiding out to Strixhaven Ilandra? Ilindar. Oh, you're right. I have ADHD and some slight reading issues. Ilandara. They're playing some D&D tonight. So we're going to send you off that way. Spread the love. Share the love. Don't forget to give each other a little kiss on the lips. And remember, we're never gone. Darn right.
Damn, now I actually want to drink water. Damn.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.